Haribol Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
You can give me your instructions. But you have to unmute yourself to do that.
Yeah. Maharaj. Yeah. So on the first day, when Advaita Prabhu left us, we discussed briefly. We discussed briefly on that day, and our kind of main regret is that I mean it was so sudden. It was such a kind of situation. So I couldn't. I lost my mind became clouded, and I couldn't go with.
You're a little far away from the microphone or something. I'm having a hard time hearing.
Okay, I use my. Can you hear me, Maharaj, now?
Distantly.
Okay, maybe I'll use my phone. So I think my phone has a.
Now you just have to unmute yourself.
Yes, Maharaj. Can you hear me?
Yes, now very good.
Yes. So, okay. So, one second. The computer also started at the same time. We have to do the. Okay. Now, looks like everything under control. Like the material world, you know?
Yeah, it looks like it's under control.
Yes. So, Maharaj, yes. So it was so sudden, and I like for this time we prepared the whole life. Advaita Prabhu has made a preparation. There's some echo coming out, right?
Yeah, somebody else has a device that's not muted.
Can you mute unmute everybody? Mute everybody. Yeah. Except Maharaj.
And you.
Yes, Maharaj.
Now you need to unmute yourself. There you go. Now you're good.
Yes. So Maharaj, that was the most important part was like that we prepare for this entire life. You know, because as practicing devotees, my dad has been doing that all his life. And I also thought that I would get that opportunity to give the Pitaji a befitting farewell with chanting and like but that it happened so sudden. So I did not have any. I mean, my mind became blocked. I would have never gone for intubation or kind of a cardiac cath if I would know slightest that there's the possibility that he would not come out from that cath table. So what was supposed to be happen, it happened. My biggest kind of a regret is that I did not chant. I was chanting all until 5:40 with him and talking to him before half an hour before that. He was talking as clear as anybody can talk in this world. So, but we never discussed this topic about the kind of what to do, something like that happen. And I didn't have that kind of, I knew that, Manish knew that we would never go for this. We knew in our heart, but then we had a hope that he was perfectly all right at 1 o'clock. If we go for that treatment, we probably could have some more time. And that kind of, I mean, how that made us fall into that trap. And but the fortunately, one thing was that the doctor who did the catheterization is a Gujarati Pushti Margiya Vaishnava.
Mm.
So from Madhupati Prabhu's, the lineage before, before he became Gaudiya Vaishnava.
Mm.
So that Pushti Margiya lineage. So he's a good friend, and we told him that chant Hare Krishna. He said that I can't allow you guys because you guys could be possibly infected. He's a patient. At that time, nobody knew that we were out of that COVID infection, and my father didn't had the COVID infection, but there was a possibility, suspicious. So they said we really can't allow you, and he had one fear also, because my father was had cardiac arrest in the emergency room for close to 1 hour, and because of heart pumping me on the chest and chanting, my father wasn't living. I was giving the cardiac massage, and some other people will do the massage, and I was chanting all along. And father was coming back. Then they thought this person, probably if we take him inside, he would not give up. I don't know, whatever. That could be a possibility, or they thought they could infect our cath lab. So they kept us out. And then once they took him inside, um, the doctor called after half an hour that we found the old stent was thrombus. I replaced the new stent. Blood pressure is coming back, and heartbeat and everything is coming up. It's still very guarded, but it's good news. Then after a few minutes, he called that it's again dropping, and I have to do another procedure where they put in the aorta. They put some kind of a pacemaker or what, something like they put in the aorta. We said, okay, go ahead, do it. And then after that, he said that how long you want to continue this. Now he didn't tell us that actually is deteriorating. I said no. If he has there's a hope. We shouldn't stop that. Let the heart would not respond back. Nobody lives on cardiac massage, so you shouldn't give it up. Then after some time, he actually came and he told us that this is gone. Come with me inside. Then I said, what happened? Then he said he's gone. So I thought at some point he would call us. So we don't know what happened. Maybe they didn't do enough effort. That's always that we always. No doctor or no health professional will do that. But it's a family members psychology, or maybe maybe the dad left at a time he's supposed to live. We all have to live, and that's our only regret is that I did not chant the family. And he actually told me in the emergency room 2 times. He told me in Gujarati, Ashik bhai, mari jais. Ashik, I'm about to die. So, and then I said, I don't know what to say. He said to us, I said, Dad, Vaishnavas don't die. You are carrying on. You're going home. You're coming home, and we're gonna go to. My dad comes in our family comes in a tradition where we read the Srimad Bhagavatam at certain places in Purushottam Mas and certain places at Shravan Mas. And that was his very, very kind of a joy of his heart. So I said, I'm going to take you there, and we're going to read in September this year. We're going to go again and read Srimad Bhagavatam and at Purushottam Mas. And then he's listening. But after that, the heart cardiac arrest. So my last words to him was that Vaishnavas don't die. I couldn't give him and that was my kind of at that point I had a choice. If I would have listened to him like an obedient son, then okay, Dad, you are right. Probably you're about to leave the body. What should we do now? Then he would have told, okay, take me home. Because when we went back to the hospital, we thought that we didn't use a wheelchair, and he walked, and that's why he got the heart attack. So he was listening, and he said, yeah, you're right. Then I said, when we go back, we'll use the wheelchair so that you don't have to take any more strain. So he said, Beta, Ashik bhai, call for wheelchair. Let's go home. So he wanted to go home, and he didn't want to die. Nobody wants to die. Nobody who wants to die. And that's why, but my intelligence was thinking that if there is a possibility to cure him, if we go him, there is no possibility that he could make a comeback. And I had my brother Manish with me, who deals with this kind of a situation so often because he is an internal medicine doctor.
Mhm.
He deals with the ICU patients and people dying and sick. And he also said, no, we're going to go and go for all treatment. So I picked it up. And
Mhm.
he said that looking your enthusiasm, I couldn't say anything other way around. So both of us somehow were fooled by each other, or
Mm.
by the providence, or by the supreme will. We didn't. And my dad had one peculiarity. He never liked to take anybody's help. We
Mm.
are six sons and so many grandchildren. We love to massage his and all those things. Never in our life, he never allowed us to touch even. We'll go to the bathroom, we'll take 10 minutes, he'll walk for 10 steps, 10 minutes, but he would hardly ever take anybody's help. And if he a little bit, then he says, thank you. I wish I could have son. He would always tell us like that. But we never came up to that standard. So he told us that I would never take anybody's help when we're sometime, family environment, some tense moment. And he said, you don't worry, nobody will have to serve me, and no, you guys don't have to worry about me. And so, and here, other thing that he showed detachment also to everybody except me throughout the last 2 years. My mom and they were inseparable people from morning to evening. Whosoever knows them, wherever they go, 10 hours, different stotras and Bhagavatam and reading and chanting and one after the other prayer, and like the temple is running wherever they are going, wherever they are traveling. So they were, but he became independent to my mom also. So that was, we were all thinking that why, but he showed my mom is younger than him. So so he probably had the idea. So he made her also that he wasn't attached to her. He wasn't attached to my youngest brother Harinamanand. That was, otherwise he'll call him 5 times a day. After coming from India, he didn't call him for one time,
Mm.
not a single time. He was no, he was, detached or whatever, dejected, but he didn't. His brother was also one other person that him who would, he that was at his heart. But I tried and said, never mind, leave him. He's busy in his life. We don't want, when he came back from India, we wanted to call him, and after one time the call didn't go through. He said, never mind, he's busy in his life, and I have no interest in talking to him also. So, and after last 20 days, he would eat very little and mostly milk, or sunt, the dry ginger powder, golis and all those things. Maybe very little he will eat. He was fond of eating the sweets, but everything he had given up. The ladu or anything, peda was his favorite. He could eat anytime, 10 pedas. And now he wouldn't touch peda also.
Um, you just got
Ladu
frozen.
also, sweet also. Yeah. Um,
Now you're back.
yeah. So, since his birth, my grandfather was celebrating every full moon, and he passed on the day of full moon. Every full moon, we had a big feast at our home, because since that was the tradition my grandfather started. But now he didn't have any interest in that feast also, anything, everything. So he showed that detachment. But
Mm.
on one hand, we never discuss about death, because I thought that he's probably not ready. And we were reading every day. That was our joy of our life, that every day I will read with him. We'll do the Mangla Arti. I sing and he will do Arti. He is the Pujari. So no matter what happens, he's there at 7 o'clock. And I until 1 year I didn't start joining him. I will do my yoga and I will listen upstairs. But then I thought, what kind of fool I am? I could Krishna can give me some other time. My exercise in yoga and listening Bhagavatam, but I should definitely. So then last 1 year or 1.5 year, I would come on every single Mangala Aarti. So that then I will, then by Tulsi Aarti I will go get ready, and then we'll read in the morning for about 1 hour, half hour, 1 hour, depending upon. But we read so much, and then I go to work. Then come in the evening, we have Sandhya Aarti, and then we read again. So
Mm.
that was his joy. Every time he see me, Bhai Vachisu, Bhai Su Vachisu, he'll call me Bhai and I'll call him Bhai. So that was my joy of my life. And I thought I have 20 years and I will read all these scriptures again and again, and my dad would have no attachment. but I was full thinking that he's attached to anything. I mean, like sometimes we get angry and sometimes on, but that is the nature of the body and mind. When we become old, we become easily irritated, and then we can say, we can scold anybody and all those things. But because staying it too close, I mean, I didn't understand that. So I thought my dad is still attached, and that's why we never talked about death. That what should we do if he really? But he actually gave me very clear. I was the one. He gave me very clear. Said, "Beta, I'm dying. I'm dying. You don't stay in illusion that you're gonna take me home." That's what his words were, that I'm dying. So I should have picked up that word and said, "Okay, Dad, stop everything. Tell me, what should I do? Should I take you home?" But as I mean, in those 1 hour or half hour, whatever, I couldn't decide that, and I had that regret for the whole my life. I think that's my biggest regret. So I mean, and then rest, I mean, then. So Maharaj, I would speak less now, because we are everybody. They all have heard this story, and they are kind of frustrated with me. So I let you speak, and I let you sing some holy name, and I let you speak. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, sir. And Maharaj, the one thing, when we went for his last darshan, his fingers were like that. Even he was there, so nobody knows him. And like I mean, he was in this moment, huh? Yeah, Maharaj, you can see me, right, Maharaj? Right, Maharaj?
Yes.
So his finger, and we were all stunned and amazed. And his body was as fresh as like a, people say, like butter. You can after it was like he left the body on Tuesday night or Wednesday early morning, and it was on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. After 72 hours, it was still as smooth, and as there was no stool, nothing, and it was so fresh. So then and he was still very peaceful. And like then Jalangi, when she left home, she prayed Radha Vasant Bihari, and all of a sudden she had a vision of Radha Vasant Bihari in her heart. She was in that, I was the secondary pujari. Your primary pujari is sleeping right now. Where are you? So she, because I mean, she is so, I mean, in general, I mean, ladies are very kind of, they can handle this, and it is father. So somehow, but because she said that Radha Basant Bihari was there all along, so this is just, so now, I mean, please, because if somebody, I could keep speaking, but we are here to hear from you, and we are here to offer some holy name and blessings from you to Advait Pri Prabhu. Okay, Maharaj. Thank you.
Should I do a little kirtan first?
Yes, Maharaj. Please.
Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah
Vishnu Padaya and Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Sarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vaskatya Deshatarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama Rama
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare,
Jai Om Vishnuvad Puraman Supri Braj Kacharya Koti Srimad AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kunikiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Advaita Priya Prabhu Ki Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Bol.
Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. The well, we're getting lots of rain and wind here. One of those. In the book that I wrote, the biblical book that I commented on says in one place, better the day of death than the day of birth. And a lot's been written about that and what it means. But one commentator, more than one, says that when we're born, everything's uncertain. We don't know what our life is going to be. Nobody knows. We haven't really done anything yet. Everything is, who knows? But at the day of death, then everything is complete. Whatever we're meant to accomplish in our life is accomplished. And we can see, we can measure up, take the measure of the man, as they say. We can see what that life has been. Elsewhere, it's said that the man putting on armor shouldn't brag like the man taking it off. We're going into a war and bragging. Well, yeah, but when you finish the war and come out successful, then you can brag. So here we're seeing a life which is successful. There's so many lives that are failures because no Krishna consciousness, no spiritual realization, simply mundane life. But here we see that real success in life, to spend one's life engaged in the service of Krishna, to give Krishna consciousness to others, to develop, to have a real taste for hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, serving Krishna, associating with devotees of Krishna. These are all signs of real success in life. The money will be finished. The educational degrees will be finished. Everything will be finished. But whatever connection we have with Krishna, our devotional life, that's eternal. That's the eternal business of the living being. This other stuff is like a dream. It's our a few minutes business. But our eternal connection with Krishna as servants of Krishna, that's our real life. And we see that my whole experience with Advaita Prabhu was Advaita Priya Prabhu was that was his life. Simply, I don't even know what he was doing before. He didn't talk about it. We know, but it was like not a subject matter. My whole association with him was all on the platform of serving Krishna. He would always, what can I say? He wanted more Krishna consciousness out of me than I was ready to give. He always wanted to hear Bhagavatam or discuss Krishna Katha or have Kirtan, something Krishna conscious. So that sometimes I wanted to do that also. Sometimes I had something else in mind. But that's the real stuff. That's the real business, is to be engaged in Krishna Katha and to have a taste for Krishna Katha, to take pleasure in Krishna Katha. That's our real business. And that was his pleasure. I saw that. And there was some family, natural family, what would you say, affinity, but that was also in the realm of Krishna service and Krishna Katha. It was like I hesitate to say temple president because he wasn't managing, but like the head of the spiritual head for for the home, but the home is more like a temple because everybody's a devotee and so much service is going on. Krishna is the center of attention. He's being served. So that was the real business. So much so that in many ways, I think he was more of a sannyasi than I am. I'm officially a sannyasi. I've got the dress and the title, but he had the taste for devotional service. And that's the real anashrita karma palam karyam karma karoti sannyasi. That's real sannyas. Not only doing karya, what we're supposed to do, but on a higher level than that, the really being absorbed or really being happy about serving Krishna and making that the real business of life. What is that? Gachantya punaravritim jnananirdhuta kalmasha. What is that verse? Tad buddhayas tad atmanas tad nishtas tad parayana. Tad means the person that ultimately means Krishna, the absolute truth. Tad buddhaya, the intelligence is being used for Krishna. Tad atmana, the mind or the soul is dedicated to Krishna. Tad buddhaya, tad atmana, tad nishta. One's faith is in Krishna. And tat parayana, one's goal of life is Krishna. That's the, then gachanti, we all have to go, but when he goes, gachanti apunaravritim, going to and not coming back. Gachanti apunaravritim, jnananirtuta kalmasha, because one's whole life is purified of all material reactions by transcendental knowledge. Jnananirtuta kalmasha. This is the position of the devotee. So that's that we saw. Tatparayana, Krishna Parayana, always engaged in serving Krishna. And as I mentioned the other night, as a natural business, there are those of us who struggle to think of Krishna, who discipline ourselves and practice so that somehow or other we can try not to forget Krishna. But what we saw was that for Advaita Priya Prabhu, it was like that was natural. That was his natural life. If he had to do something else, he would have to try. But the natural thing that he was inclined to do was to chant Hare Krishna, to hear about Krishna, to associate with sadhus, to be engaged in Krishna's business. So that's wonderful. That's not the result of one lifetime's work. What is that? Anyway, when there's several verses that are not coming to mind, but they're there. But the idea is that when one is tatsvayam samsiddha, when one is mature in knowledge or mature in Krishna consciousness, then these things are found. This natural taste, this natural happiness in serving Krishna. That was my experience also, that practically Advaita Priya Prabhu was always happy. And Prabhupada said that's the sign of a self-realized person. Brahmabhuta prasannatma. Prabhupada said the first sign of a self-realized person is that he's always jolly. Prabhupada used that word, always jolly. Nashochati nakanchati. He has nothing to lament over, nothing to hanker for. Samasarveshu bhuteshu, he has equal vision, and madbhakti, engaged in devotional service. So we saw that, always joyful, always happy, in not this artificial material happiness, genuinely happy. What is that? Today's the day when all the verses are deserting me. But
Brahmabhuta Prasannatma.
no, yontas sukontara ramas tatantar jyotirevaya. That's the verse. Yontas sukontara ramas. His happiness is within. Tatantar jyoti is illuminated within. I forget the rest of the verse, but that's the
Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhutadi Gacchati.
Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhutadi Gacchati. So this is the spiritual platform. The material platform is the platform of desire and lamentation and anger and frustration and fear and so many other things that go on, and illusion. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mada, Moha, Matsarja. But the spiritual platform is a different thing. There the happiness is within, the intelligence is turned within. Within means turn toward Krishna in the heart. Suridam Sarvabhutana. Krishna is the real friend, Krishna is the real goal, Krishna is the real enjoyer, the person who should enjoy everything. And I'm Krishna's servant. So that's happy life. So Advaita Kriya was, that was his nature. And he trained all of you guys. That was the other thing. It's like you were struggling to make one devotee in a temple somewhere, and you've got the whole, what can I say, a whole temple's worth of devotees. That's his credit. That he's not only Krishna conscious himself, but made you all Krishna conscious, so that it's not finished. Oh, he left and now it's mundane life sets in. But he trained all of you how to serve Krishna and how to be happy in devotional service. I have another devotee friend. He also left, Mani Prabhu, who was in Dubai. And same thing, he's like the grandfather of the Dubai Yatra, because his two sons are now, pushing, for many years have been pushing everything, but he started it by his enthusiasm. He and his wife's enthusiasm. There was nothing really there, but enthusiastically they got it all going. And his whole life was devotional service. And now the next generation are carrying on, sons and grandchildren. So this is wonderful. This is what we hope for. And this is what we, what can we say? We worship even, to see this kind of dedication to Krishna and this kind of happiness in Krishna's service. This is the picture of the spiritual world. And everything else is superficial. The coming and going, what is it like Prabhupada said about Jivava Marova, the butcher should not live and not die. The Muniputra should die, and the Rajputra should live a long time. But Jivava Marova, for the Vaishnav, he may come or go. He's always on the platform. So this, we're regretting that at the last minute we weren't there. It wasn't the, what we envisioned as sort of the picture perfect departure, the kind of departure that we aspire for. But he was Krishna conscious. So a Krishna conscious person, he leaves in this circumstance, he leaves in that circumstance. He'll be Krishna conscious under any circumstance. Until practically, it's not like, for so many years he's had no, that up to a short while before you've been in his company and chanting. So I'm not, what's the word, worried that, there was no kirtan when he left, or there were no devotees. No, he was like a one-man kirtan party. The Yontasu Kontara Ramas. Kirtan is going on within. It may or may not be manifest, but the kirtan is always going on. That's the position of a devotee. Prabhupada said one should mold one's life in such a way, we were just reading this the other night, that one cannot help but think of Krishna. Materialists run their life in such a way they can hardly think of Krishna. But a pure devotee runs his life in such a way, molds his life in such a way that he can't but think of Krishna. He has nothing else to think about. So that was Advaita Priya Prabhu's position. Even if he thinks about his family, look at that family, all Tilak and Kantimala and Japabis and Kirtan. And so even if that, people typically, they think of their family members at the time of death. If he thought of a family member at the time of death, it means he was thinking of the Vaishnavas. So that's the whole life is transcendental. Now the winds are blowing more. So this is an example for the rest of us to follow, to be always absorbed in thinking of Krishna, always taking pleasure in Bhagavad Gita, and Harinam, and Krishna Seva. Maybe I'll stop and see if there's anything you wanted to, something else you wanted me to talk about, some aspect, some.
Maharaj, thank you so much. What you mentioned is certainly very true. That he would always looking at how to share Krishna with the other people. He recently came back only like 20 days back, March 20th. He came back from India. That was one of the last flight. I mean, they allowed it. So, and then he went for a haircut. And those two boys come to my home, and he would give them a Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everybody was getting late, and he wouldn't care. He said he made them remember the mantra. Please recite. You are not correct. And only after they remembered, they let him go. He gave them the writing. Said that, okay, don't forget this. Chant this. Wherever I take him to any doctor, they are all kind of, Americans, Westerners. He would take the number. He would invite them home, and he would and one doctor came also, and then he said, chant Hare Krishna. Anywhere, all receptionist, secretary, he would, everybody, wherever he go, that was his. And one of my brother, he's sitting right here behind me. He was we are all hard-headed. He's a little more hard-headed. So he liked kirtan and all those things, but he wouldn't do regular chanting for many years. And until, so over the last 6 months now, he joined our family reading. I don't know why, somehow Krishna inspired him. So he was coming to reading. But my dad was in India, and we were reading. So then he said that when the daddy comes back, I'll start chanting with him. But then after he came, everybody got sick, and he didn't recover enough to. And then who knows that this is going to happen today? So he said, I'll start chanting. And my dad would be very upset if he's on a computer or on a phone or watching cricket match. He has time for everything and not chanting. So you are a rascal, niche. You see Chandal and niche. You are Chandal and you are a niche. So, and he would say, Daddy, you are chanting. Daddy, he was a perfect teacher. So because of him only we all went to the medicine. That's a whole different story. He was a professor, but he became a high school teacher for us. Just to, at his home, he made us study everything, and he helped us get a good mark. So he helped him a lot in his study. But then this was his whole mission. Every time he see him, that why nonsense, when you're gonna start chanting, don't show me your face. I don't want to speak to you. And this guy would say, Daddy, you are chanting all the time, and look at you are cursing left and right. And then he said, you niche, you don't speak to me. He wouldn't, because of his old age, the reasoning power, he didn't have that patience. So he would yeah. So he actually wants to share that also. So then after the daddy left, daddy never would leave his mala home. Even when at the hospital, his finger was like that. But this time he purposefully left the mala home. And he actually, when he went to the hospital, he with folded hand, he asked forgiveness from my mom. He didn't say anything, but he said like this while going to the hospital. And then his mala was at home. So when my brother Mehul, he's sitting next to me, when he came home, and when he came to know, after second time also, nobody realized that dad is about to leave. So again, me and Manish only went to the hospital. Everybody stayed home. They thought, oh, they're gonna come back like first time. And then when within an hour everything collapsed and everything, then when he came home, he started crying hysterically. That, why did I wait for this day? He was telling me for 20 years. Why did not I become serious? So now he took the vow that I would never leave this bed without chanting. He's here. Maharaj, he wants to say a few words in his own words.
Maharaj, if you permit, right, and if you have time, right, I'm beside me, I'm like suffering.
You have to come close to the microphone or we can't hear you.
So if you permit, right, like your permission, I know I'm going like amazing experience right now. I mean, he was my father, as you said, he was a perfect father and perfect teacher. I mean, he was just like you, like your face and everything, like look like just Vishnu Duta, right? Like I mean, Vishnu, I mean, came from the word just to save. So he's same as he always smiling. He was never any material desire from any of his son. He never asked anything. So many things to tell, but I'm sure you don't have time for that. And then, so such a miracle. I mean, so but two things I will tell with your permission. That he wanted like two of my brothers, like me and my eldest brother. I think you met everybody, but like you, if you see the face, then you will realize. But I was enjoying this process most. Like my life, everything, if I analyze, Kirtan, otherwise nobody will come, right? Like, I mean, Kirtan and festive mood and everything, I was enjoying more. But with the distraction, I will, like other side, I go, then I don't enjoy that much, but somehow my lazy nature will keep me sitting. But if Kirtan or something is going on, that is the most attractive to me. That was my life. I mean, since my father was doing that, that was always there, always there. But somehow Duryodhana mentality was like predominant more. Like Duryodhana also was, you know, it was associate, but of Lord, right? But sorry.
Hello. Yeah, this is Nand Kumar Prabhu here, Nikunj Prabhu. I wanted to add it here. Don't think like that. You know, I'm the witness. You know, you always tried, Prabhu, to chant seriously, and I think now.
Nikunj Bihari Prabhu, Maharaj is there. I know we are friends. We will talk some other time, but this is Maharaj's time, and I don't want to waste in this assembly, right? Like, I mean, you are my friend, and it's so good that you came in between, but I just want to talk to Maharaj, right? Like, want to share my experience in 2 minutes. I want to tell whatever for 3 days worth of things in 2 days. I mean, 2 minutes I want to tell whatever Maharaj's time for me. But Maharaj, he was a perfect teacher and a perfect father. And he was just like and we have in house as some special soul that I was seeing, like Prahlad, Keshav, Chitra, they like play the harmonium without, like as I said, I like Kirtan most, right? That time I concentrate more. Like I don't do any offense and I concentrate more. So Kirtan, they know without anything, no training, formal training. And I'm trying right now harmonium, so I know, like I try one tune one day, in 3 days, if I don't do, I forget. But they know, like if you sing, they will play. They know without training. So is that possible, like without any previous life, some inherent kirtan? They did so much kirtan before. It's not possible, right? Previous life sanskar. So we in house that I think the special soul. We everybody that met, every soul is special for Krishna, but we like somehow united with some special mission and special soul. So that was always there. But his regret, I mean, that we two sons are not chanting. So he will, like as a teacher, not in front of like later part, he will tell in front of everybody. But when I am alone, he will tell me in harshest word, right? Chandar, Neech. That is like in Gujarati, is a very, very bad word for any realized soul, right? So that my father, how desperately he wants from me, that two things I want, that you do Lakshmi Narsinga Stotra and you do 16 rounds. So that like two brothers, he will tell always, like all other four brothers were like is initiated and they're chanting that, I was the only one not chanting. But in other assembly, whenever something comes, he will tell, he's such a perfect teacher. He will tell, Mehul has highest devotion. Whether he was knowing that or he just to encourage me, he was telling, right? But he will tell, this guy has most intelligent, because he teaches chemistry, all of us. So Mayapur Chandra Prabhu has the highest mark in everybody, everything, right? But he will, and that will smash his ego also. But he said, he will say everybody's ego will be smashed, but he will tell, this guy is most intelligent and most devotion he has. So I thought he was realizing or he was encouraging me, right? He was encouraging me. He was trying me as a teacher and father, everything. But until 50 years, my stay with him was 50 years. But Krishna consciousness last 20 years, he actively, right? Actively. But still, until he departed, I only regret right now. I know he can take everybody Vaikuta. He has such a potential. For him going Vaikuta is nothing like it. Then I'm doubting Krishna. Yeah, I'm doubting Krishna. If I say he's not in Vaikuta, then he's not in Krishna service. Forget Vaikuta. If he's not in Krishna service, then I'm doubt this. Then I don't have any faith in this process. Then I have not any faith in this process. If I doubt that my father is not in Krishna service, because after 50 years of association, I realized like he was such a like he will not give up. So he gave me this great lesson. I keep promises and I break it. But he gave me such a hard lesson for it. Like my father-in-law is also with the COVID pneumonia in the hospital. And my father departed like suddenly and I was not there. Like I was sleeping, but because of Corona, if I would have gone, they would have let me go also. And I would have told my brothers that don't do this resuscitation. But that Krishna's mystery, I want to keep talking. Krishna's mystery. I mean, maybe I was not like, I was detached. I was thinking that my father's time is come to go, and he was giving everybody indication. He described his death also to one of my cousin, same, exactly same. He told Harinamandan Das, I have on 9 months only. He told everybody, and I don't know, like that he was knowing. And then this all he arranged with Krishna, Krishna's guidance, how to arrange. So it smashed me so hard. Like he has a perfect father and perfect teacher that I am chanting now. Like, and his bead, I take the vow, because in later part of it is a sadhana, bhakti. I was thinking that he is not chanting 16 rounds. So his beat should chant 16 rounds. So I requested my brother, like 4 rounds, we all do in front of him. And he should be, his 16 rounds vow should be completed.
When he was with us.
He's with us, right? It should be always there. So I was requesting, but because of this Corona thing, I was not going. I was the second person in the house to be affected by, and 20 days they just came from India. So I was not going close to him, but still couple of days, we did 1 or 2 rounds and rounds like with him to chant, right? But my only regret, like I can keep talking, but only regret is like he doesn't know that I'm chanting 16 rounds now. But after his departure, I was waiting for his departure. So he's giving hardest lesson any son can get it. If I don't wake up now, then when will it be? Right? From dream, I wake up so many times, and so many times I fell into the dream. If I don't, so I took the vow that his chanting beats will have 16 rounds from me, always from his chanting beat. And I prayed sincerely to your wish, but like as I said, your face, and I was, they will tell you, I was always inspiring. They said, Maharaj, don't give anybody initiation, and you thought, forget about you. They will never give, Maharaj will never give you the initiation. So I always desired that, I mean, that I was in material, I was teaching, you don't give initiation. And they were telling me, you chant and you take initiation. So I said, I'm inspiring from Jayadvaita Swami. So they stopped because Jayadvaita Swami don't give anybody initiation. So
it was so difficult. So then he said, I mean, you are not doing it, I mean, anyhow, and you have such a high goal. So
yeah, you understand, right? What I'm telling you right now. I mean, my consciousness is not pure, but like with your association, whatever I speak, it will be pure. So my respect to obeisances and a request to you that sincerely pray for me that this vow I never break. This vow, I don't want anything in my life now. This vow, I take it under the effect of Maya. I never break this vow. Please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Maharaj, Hare Krishna. This is Harinam Ananda Das.
Harinamananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Maharaj. All Goshen Prabhu and you. Sorry, we are 6 brothers. If each of us take turn, then like your whole day will be here. And we don't want to take your...
And then we start with
it's
the
like...
grandchildren, wives, not only brothers.
At least, yeah, so there is... I don't want to take too much of your time, but like, I just wanted to share my heart's feelings also, because your blessings can soothe my heart a little bit. So last few years, Maharaj, I have been living out of that house, and like, occasionally we were going to visit, and the situation was such, after they came back from India, I had not been able to go see them. But as my brother said, like, my father had told me before going to India that, he had 6 to 8 months. And I kind of like, talked back saying that, like, who knows who has more time? Like, like, don't say about those things. Like, who knows who has more time? I might go before you, so don't say those things. And it's like, now it's that's the reality. And like he was here for about 3 weeks, and we spoke on the phone a few times. As Maya Prachanda Prabhu said, he would never call me from his side. There were days where, like, when I moved out, when I was working in pharmacy, he would call me and tell me, today, go eat at restaurant, come home. There is Lord who's at home. But after coming from India, even before,
You're breaking up there, Harinamananda
me.
Prabhu. The signal is breaking up.
Sorry. Yeah. So like, he would not call me. Even when he was in India, after like, they were in Yatra, so I naturally didn't call them. But after they reached Gandhinagar, he would not call me from his side. I had to call him and ask him how he was doing. And I did that a few times. But, he dispersed me. And from India also, he was not happy that like I had sold the pharmacy. I was working for someone else, and like, so many things are there. So it's like I was doing things that was making me happy, not thinking that like what is like, I mean, there are certain things that you can follow and certain things you cannot follow. Like I'm kind of that black sheep in the family that like, turned away from everybody and did what I thought was good for me. So it's like I have to much regret on those things, and I don't know how to console myself on those things. And like, especially, he kept calling me, kept asking me to bring my kids and go see him. He wanted to see my kids and myself. Uh, like, and then I kept saying that, like, okay, after this infection period is over, we will come see you. And like, that was never meant to be. So it's really, really hard. And like, as my brother said, he was perfect teacher. He knew how to fan the spark. He saw a tiny little fragment of spark, and he knew how to bring that goodness from you. So it was like every step of the way I turned around and I remember his encouragement, and his Krishna consciousness is like very hard to understand how I missed that. So please forgive me, Maharaj, I took your time, but
No, you're adding to my time. When we hear about devotees, the glories of devotees, that adds to our time. It doesn't subtract. What is that? Ayur Harati Vaipum Sam in the second canto.
yes.
That the sun is rising and setting and taking away everyone's lifetime, except for those who are hearing and chanting about Uttama Shloka.
I hope he forgives me and accepts me someday.
Maharaj, this is Manish. Pranam. Please accept my obeisance. Can I say something, Maharaj?
Please, Manish.
So, it's in, see, we, see, I mean, you, like, see, I mean.
Are you going to turn your screen on, Manish?
Yes, this is Manish. Manish Ravan.
Are you turn your video on?
Okay, I can turn my video on too.
No,
I'm at the office, Maharaj, because somebody has to take care of the patient. So we are doing telemedicine. Please accept my obeisances, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Maharaj, I mean, you see, I mean, when you, see, this
Light the light.
I'm.
Turn on light. Turn on light, yeah.
Okay. Is it better?
Better. Throw dur hai.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So, I first chanted, probably. Did I told you how did I started chanting? 10 years ago when my father, Maharaj, right? We don't have to repeat that.
I think you told me.
Yeah, I told you. I remember I told you. So to make a long story, this 10 years, every time, when I don't chant sincerely, Krishna gives me slap. Then now I'm chanting sincerely. So this time I thought I didn't made a mistake. But last 2 weeks, like say it was mine and Maya Puchandra's decision, because Maya Puchandra is on devotee side, he's more advanced. I mean, whatever, you don't praise devotee in his presence. That's what my father taught me, that you never praise the devotee in his presence. You praise his Guru Maharaj. So basically, we all have this kind of realization. So what I regret, like Harinamande, is nothing. If I confess, Harinamande made no offense. Father is always happy. And what I'm telling, my father was detached. We were thinking that he was attached, but now I'm learning it. He was detached. As a doctor, I was thinking that he wanted to leave, but he had no taste to food. When you give him a food last 1 year, he will say, "Oh, I don't want to eat." And then if I offer him a food, being a doctor, he will call me Chandal too. So indirectly, what I was thinking, he was telling me that why do you want me to prolong my life? And then he was he was a professor of chemistry. So in the morning, he will ask me the water full of sugar or, good jaggery, So, and then everybody would oppose. What kind of doctor? You are giving him this jaggery and sugar and but I think he won't got hypoglycemic, and he would ask for it and he would bless me. May Krishna bless you. So I'm the most blessed because I get those closing 4 times, and Maharaj, I mean, there are so many things to confess, but everybody confess, it's a glorification. Devotee is never a bad, but we felt, see, when Prabhupada was here, we probably underestimated him. But when you go away from mountain, so we were living with my father, but we didn't knew that, first me and Maya Puchandra, actually Maya Puchandra more, because I was say he left without chanting, and Maya Puchandra always was reading with him. So he was lamenting, and I was lamenting that, I think, why didn't saw Vishnu Duta? Why didn't get any experience? But indirectly, I got all the experience because I was, see, I learned with my father departure. Usually you pray for Krishna, but then eventually when I chant better, you learn that you don't ask anything from, if you ask, you ask that if somebody is sick, like Prabhupada told his devotees that, please pray to Narsidev that if Krishna, if it's your will, I'll get better. So what I was praying to Krishna, being foolish enough that my father, because it was my decision as a medical doctor, my father shouldn't die from corona. And Maharaj, look at it. He had no signs of, he went for heart attack. And my father kept my word. Can you imagine? And Krishna, of course, my father enabled Krishna to do so. But, and then he gave a proof. So what I'm saying is, taking me to the hospital twice. He wanted, see, if I would have taken a hospital second time, then they will say, oh, your father it might be corona. But first test, chest X-ray, everything was normal. And second, so it was a pakka proof that he died. And heart attack also, we did everything. So now having 2 needles, I'm sure he was not in pain. Maharaj, I took so much time, but I think we all have such an exhausted soul that everybody in the family having so much spiritual realization. And I think we should have this reached with your blessings. Please bless us in a way that we can continue this one. It shouldn't last like 5-6 months and we start watching TV. Please bless us, Maharaj. Of course, you have that power from the Prabhupada. So please bless us, and I'll end here. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Manish. Hare Krishna. Yes, that should last on and on, whole lifetime. With seriousness. Very good.
Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. I'm very happy to have your darshan, the most influencing divine darshan I always aspire for. This is Vishwarup from Ahmedabad.
Hare Krishna, Vishwarup Prabhu. Where are you now?
I'm here in Ahmedabad, locked down in the room.
Where are you?
I'm in Ahmedabad, locked down in the city, Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
Okay.
So I must say that some of the glories I have always heard from different proper disciple about you, that you can expand the one word into entire book, and you can keep entire book in one word. This is a special quality you have. Fortunate to have your information.
It's just your mercy if I say one word, you take it as significant, and if I talk too much, you condense it down. To it. The kindness of the hearers, your kindness. Somehow we're fortunate, we're coming in a great line spiritually. You're coming from a great line from the family side and spiritually. So very wonderful. And just keep that good fortune and increase it and spread it. You're already inclined that way. And therefore all the devotees are very affectionate and appreciative to your whole family. So carry on in this way and it will be wonderful. It will be wonderful. Everyone.
Thank you, Raj.
And next generation too.
We are in Kali Yuga, so Maharaj don't impact. Please,
Kali is not allowed.
The next generation take Maharaj's darshan.
Yes. All the younger generation, they are all here, Maharaj.
There's
Prahlad. This is Prahlad. Come on. This is Chitra. This is
Right.
Brinda. Brinda. Where is Hari? Hari. Hari is here. Maharaj, my mom was sitting over there.
You have more devotees there than we have here in Tuaco.
Some of them are still hiding. My sister-in-laws and some other younger ones, they are Dhruv and all the sister-in-laws, they are all listening, but they are away. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Maharaj, we at a future date, we'll hold a memorial and we invite the devotees and kind of serve them nicely and do some kirtan and katha.
Yeah.
So please come.
Sure.
You have to come to bless us, please. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my Guru Chandra.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
The other one is here. Krishna Priya. And
Hey,
She's Nimisa.
That's Mehul's wife. She has been chanting. Maharaj, she has been chanting for a long time. 16 rounds.
16 rounds. Wow.
Yeah, for a long time. How long? 5 months. But she's been chanting, for a long time, but 16 rounds for 5 months.
Wow.
Before also she is chanting, but it will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jayadvaita Priya Prabhu ki jai. Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. You can call me as you see fit.
Yes.
You can call me as you see fit.
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you so much.
I will call him Maharaj tomorrow, not today, because it took so much time and we discussed so many things with everybody. So my heart is much better than before. So, but I'll call you tomorrow. Thank you, Maharaj.
I'm not going anywhere. Hari Hari.
Please. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.